Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into a really fascinating market, infrared light sources. Might sound a bit niche, but stick with us. We're going to unpack the key trends, the growth numbers, and some pretty surprising regional differences, all based on the infrared light sources, a global market forecast, a 2033 report from Cognitive Market Research. Basically, you're getting the inside track on where this, often invisible tech is heading.
Right, and it's important, I think, to grasp that this report gives us a very precise data-backed view. Infrared light sources, they're sort of the hidden engines in so much tech. Think about your TV remote's emitter, facial recognition on phones, night vision.
Okay, let's unpack this then, starting with a big global picture. So back in 2021, the market was valued at just under $500 million. That's $497.851 million to be exact. The report sees it climbing to over $620 million by 2025, and looking out to 2033 is projected to hit almost $1 billion, $975.114 million. That works out to a global compound annual growth rate, or AGR, of about 5.76%. And just quickly, that
gives you the average annual growth, kind of smoothing things out year to year, shows a steady pace.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating is just how steady that growth looks, going from, like you said, around $500 million to nearly $1 billion in what?
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting, I think, the regional breakdown. Because Asia Pacific is leading the charge by a long shot. In 2021, their market was already over $230 million. By 2025, nearly $300 million. And the projection for 2033, a huge $477 million. And get this, their CAGR is 6.27%. That's noticeably higher than the global average we just mentioned.
And that leadership, that higher growth rate in Asia Pacific, it's not just about volume. It really signals, I think, that the region is actively driving innovation here. It's not just manufacturing anymore. They're integrating IR into, smart cities, next-gen.
Really robust growth.
That is impressive.
Yeah. Japan's also solid, looking to reach over $70 million. South Korea projected near $39 million. And you mentioned innovation. Maybe keep an eye on Singapore too. Smaller base, sure, starting at about $6.5 million, but growing fast with a 6.68% CAGR, projected to hit $14 million.
Absolutely. And you've also got significant contributions coming from places like Australia, Thailand, Taiwan.
Oh, yeah?
It all adds up to that dominance we're seeing.
Okay, so we've seen Asia Pacific's huge leap.
How does that stack up against, let's say, the more established markets?
Right.
Let's shift to North America. Their market size was about $106.5 million in 2021, the forecast, reaching over $190 million.
Mexico is also solid, expected to reach over $15 million.
Interesting dynamic there with Canada's growth rate.
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's hop over to Europe. Their market was just over $95 million back in 2021, expected to climb to over $175 million by 2033, so a CAGR of 5.25%. Kind of sits between North America and the global average.
And within Europe, you see some interesting variations too, right? It's not uniform growth across the board. Germany, for example, really stands out. Given its strength in industrial tech, that high growth rate, it probably reflects a big push in advanced manufacturing and automation using IR tech.
Absolutely. Germany is the leader there,
climbing towards $35 million by 2033, and it has the highest European GAR at just over 6%. The UK is also showing strong growth, projected to reach over $27 million.
all showing their own strong growth patterns in this diverse European market.
So established markets are growing steadily, but the real acceleration seems to be elsewhere.
Exactly. Let's look at South America, the Middle East, and Africa. These regions show really promising acceleration. South America started near $28 million in 2021 and is projected to more than double to over $56 million by 2033. That's a robust 6.08% CAGR, higher than North America and Europe. Argentina is actually leading the way there, highest regional CAGR at 6.63%. Brazil,
Colombia, Peru, Chile are all contributing strongly too.
So significant potential there.
Definitely. Now, the Middle East, also on a significant upward path. From
Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, Qatar also showing substantial growth. It underlines the broad expansion of IRUs.
good point. Okay, finally, Africa. It's starting from a smaller base, nearly $17 million in 2021. But it's set to nearly double to over $33 million by 2033. That's a 5.33% CAGR. South Africa is a key player, growing towards $15 million. Nigeria is also showing solid growth, reflects increasing tech adoption across the continent.
So if you sort of connect all these dots, what the numbers really paint is this picture of broad, consistent global growth everywhere. Even the regions with smaller market sizes right now, they're showing strong KGRs. It just underscores how widespread the demand for these infrared sources is becoming for all sorts of applications.
The big takeaway is sustained, truly global growth for infrared light sources.
Yeah, the trajectory is undeniably upwards.
It's a clear signal this isn't just some niche tech anymore. It's becoming deeply woven into our technological fabric.
Which I think raises a really interesting final thought for you, the listener. When you see these kinds of growth figures so consistent across the entire globe for a technology most people don't even think about, what does that tell us about the deeper shifts happening? How reliant are we becoming on these invisible technologies? How are they fundamentally changing industries, changing daily life, often completely under the radar? It really reflects this vast, expanding technological layer that we rarely see, but is clearly becoming more vital every year.